Okay, I was a bit excited. Welcome once again to our show. We're excited to see you, I think. What are you doing here? No, that's only a joke. Now, first of all, a lot of people have been complaining, well, I don't know, complaining is too strong, but they've been mentioning, I think mentioning's better, that I talk too much before anything happens. Now, if you're paying attention to what we're putting out, we actually have highlight sections. So maybe those people who make those mentions, the short videos are more for you because they're more like when things are happening. But when we do the long video of like all of it live, I have to say what's going on and what's about to happen. So if I don't do that, you know, it's going to get very confusing. I'm aware that attention spans nowadays are shrinking rapidly, but for those of us who can still do it, I think I do need to say what's going on. So, for people who are new to the channel, what we like to do is showcase some of my writing for things that are likely to be made into TV shows in the near future, maybe attract a little bit of finance, maybe get the point across, you know, all of the amazing things that I could write. And I invite all of these wonderful people, to come and say the lines that I've written. And that's why it's so exciting. We're all excited. So, our first one today is it's a bit of a mystery one. Is called the Warped and Winding World of Wendy Winchester. It's quite a strong, quite powerful title, and actually it came to me sort of all at once. Well, I was just like the whole lot of it just came. And I was walking along and I just had to put my hand against the wall because it was like, you know, all went in. And I was like, wow, W as well. What a title. Another W. Wow, what a title. The Warped and Winding World of Wendy Winchester. I can't speak for other people, but I don't think many people can do that. I think...
Alliteration.
Well, they can do alliteration, but can they like think of something like that so quickly? Because I've met people and they really have to think, like they're really thinking about things. So you'll say, "Oh, come up with the title for something." They'll be like, "Oh, I don't know." Like, and in about 5 years, they'd have come up with that. That came to me in one go. So I love it. So what is it? What is the Warped and Winding World of Wendy Winchester? A Twilight Zone style series that mixes the Twilight Zone with Stranger Things, where our protagonist Wendy Winchester battles monsters a bit like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but with more strangeness like the Twilight Zone. Wendy is a gutsy, strong female, like the kind of thing everyone seems to demand and love right now. So it's on message, you know, hits all the targets, ticks all the boxes. She's better than other recent attempts, however, controversial, because she figuratively and factually isn't a dick about it. She's actually likeable. So if you watch what they're trying to make today, they go, "Oh, we need a strong female." You're like, "Yeah, that's fine. She's horrible. Like she'll be really horrible to everybody." Particularly the men. She'll be like, "Oh, shut up, I'm doing it." Yeah? That happens in all of those things all the time. "Shut up, I'm doing it." Right? And Wendy is much kinder because I think there's always room for kindness. In this scene, Wendy battles regular antagonist Zargool with dueling pistols for control over the Rictus Stone, which enables the bearer to be in 2 dimensions at once. It's very science fiction. It's not scientific science fiction. She is shadowed by Simon Selby, who fancies her but is too frightened to say anything. As far as Wendy is concerned, Simon is in the friend zone. Yeah, so it's bad for Simon, but maybe a lesson to the kind of people who would watch this.
Will he get out of it?
No, you can't.
That's the question, isn't it?
But that is the question. No, I mean
that's what the audience will be.
Yeah.
That's the ongoing kind of
People who are in his situation in real life
I've been there.
will be like, will he get out of it? But those of us who know,
No.
there's no way out of that.
You're reveling in that, I think. Is that...
I'm not being unkind.
I think it would be obvious for a TV show to get to a point at the end of a series and then he breaks out, which is, in the real world, unrealistic, but they're trying to satisfy an audience.
Yeah, I mean, that's not always quite so important to me, though, and I think that's, again, another point of differentiation. Because, yes, you're right, typically what would happen is Simon would be in the friend zone and would eventually win her heart. But I don't really want to do that.
No,
I would
sure.
keep Simon there because I'm keen on realism, even in a fantastical world. Now, let's dole out these parts. I think we know who our Wendy is going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you. Now, I don't want to be mean about Simon. So if somebody wants to do Simon, they can do it. You know, because he's helpful. He is helpful, and she's not a dick about it either. So she might friend zone the guy, but she's not like, oh bloody Simon. She's not annoyed by him. You know, she's like, oh thanks Simon, that was helpful. That kind of thing. So if anyone wants that, the Stone Keeper is would be a very kind of serious character because his whole bit like have you ever seen Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? Right. So the knight at the end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is a bit like the Stone Keeper. He's like, that's all he does. That's it. He's just there for eons, waiting for someone to claim the Rictus Stone. Okay, so he isn't. You know, he won't be like, oh, how are you? You know, I'm nothing. This is it. This is my raison d'être. He probably wouldn't even use French though. So, Wendy, I'll do Zargool because he speaks first. It'll sort of lay the foundation for where I'm going.
The tone.
Yeah. So who would like to be the Stone Keeper and who would like to be Simon?
I think I'm pretty in tune with Stone Keeper.
Okay.
Happy to take Simon.
Yeah.
Simon.
Yeah.
Who is? Look, he's worthwhile. I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, from reading it and the description, he's like a Sarah Jane to Doctor Who.
Yeah.
For example.
No romance.
I think as in my personal life, I've experienced being in the friend zone. I think taking on a role like Simon would actually conjure up some feelings of trauma for me. So I'd...
Too personal.
Yeah. Stone Keeper.
Stone Keeper. Yeah. So really, I am the Stone Keeper. You know, that's it. Okay. Wendy Winchester! You've bitten off more than you can chew this time. The Rictus Stone will be mine, and you'll be history.
You talk too much, Zargool. I'm not frightened of you. I'll be the one to save on the sixth. I'll be the one to save the sixth dimension with the stone.
Be careful, Wendy. They say that Zargool is an ace shot.
Never fear, Simon. As always, I know exactly what I'm doing.
I am the Stone Keeper. Who are the challengers?
It is I, Wendy Winchester, your goodness. I shall treat the stone with respect and use it for the finest things that have ever happened and ever will.
Master Zargool is his name. Give me your stone immediately.
2 challengers. The stone shall be passed to the victor in an 18th century dueling contest. Inspect the pistols.
Both challengers do so.
Clink.
Fine pistols, I must say.
An instrument of old-fashioned death for a foolish young girl.
Now, stand back to back. Take 10 paces and fire on your opponent.
Oh, Wendy, be careful. Be extra careful. I don't trust him.
Everything is in hand, Simon.
The Stonekeeper counts out the paces, and Wendy and Zargool pace apart.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
At that moment, Zargool turns and fires early, but Wendy anticipates, dives to her left, and wounds Zargool with a shot to his favoured shoulder. He drops his pistol and howls, "Yow! I am undone again!" It's happened before, this isn't the first episode.
This challenger fired early. He has forfeited his chance. Wendy Winchester, the Rictus Stone is yours.
The Stonekeeper hands over the Rictus Stone to Wendy.
But Wendy, how could you have known that he'd fire early?
As you said, Simon, he's not to be trusted. I knew he couldn't resist using underhand tactics. He's a fiend.
Gah! You might have won this time, Wendy Winchester, but there will be another time in this warped and winding world, and I'll get the better of you. Zargool magically evaporates.
Wonderful, Wendy. But your shot needs improvement. You only wounded him.
I am many things, Simon, but a murderer I am not. We have what we came for. Thank you.
She turns to the Stonekeeper.
Thank you, your goodness. I shall do the very things I implied earlier.
Yes, Wendy Winchester. Farewell and be at peace. The Stonekeepers always remember.
Yes, they do.
Wendy grabs Simon's hand, and in a flash, they are off to the 6th dimension. Credits roll. Yeah, that's about the noise we would make, actually.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. The Stonekeepers always remember. Yes,
Yeah, I like that.
Yes, they do.
They do.
And the point of that. So this isn't the first episode, because obviously Zargool's had trouble with her before,
Right,
or,
yeah.
or more the other way around. But like we've thrown that in, and they always remember. Because like later on, maybe not even in the first season, but the Stonekeepers might help her in some way, because they always remember. And then it's like, of course, they remembered,
yeah.
and that's why it was helpful.
One of those great moments, you know, where it's like, on a Doctor Who, just going on a sci-fi tangent, you know, it's like, oh, the Daleks again, yay! I know, I recognise that, I remember those, you know?
Yeah.
That sort of fuzzy, nostalgic feeling.
She will be in some kind of terrible peril, being really brave about it. And Simon will go, "Oh no, Wendy," like this. He'll be like over her shoulder, "Oh no, Wendy," and she'll be like, "Oh, it's okay," but like, you know, they're in a corner, trouble, and then like Stonekeeper will come, like they'll just go, and they'll go, "I remember it. You remember us," and they're like, we always remember, and then you know. So I don't want to ruin it, but these are the kind of things. These are the things that happen, aren't they? Right? Okay. So we're not. So in a way, we break new ground with her treatment of Simon, in that he never has a chance. But you have to do the old favourites as well. You have to sort of carry the old themes, and that's a good one. You know, you make allies. I mean, there's no real warmth there, but he is stone, isn't he? So if he was, you know, if he was like, oh, the sun keepers, you know, something kind of, oh, the flower keepers, then you'd expect him to be a bit friendlier.
Yeah, a bit jolly.
Stone keepers, he has to be like that. But it doesn't mean, just because you've got a hard exterior doesn't mean you don't feel things. So again, it's got levels. So I reckon one more time we could do a bit of a switcheroo. Love the Wendy. I think we'll keep you as Wendy, because I don't know. I think it makes sense in this context, and probably just even bring up the, it's okay, it's fine, you know, kind of, yeah. So she's really positive.
She does this every day. This is
I want her to be very positive. For people.
Okay.
So everybody's like, gosh, she's so likeable. I'm going to watch this again. She's really likeable, and in no way a dick about it, right?
Yeah.
Just it's genuine.
Her every line, she's saying something positive.
It is.
Even the
this is-
pistols, she likes the pistols.
I do say that
Good
Zargool
pistols.
talks too much, but
Even
I mean,
the
that can be positive, can't it? That can be like
Might
a
be true.
compliment.
And it's playful. It's playful. It's not like, oh, you know, she's not angry with him. She's not angry about it. And, you know, she's just in a life or death situation.
Yeah.
So
Like,
to
I'm
be-
going to shoot him, but I'm not going to kill him.
to have that level, I may be many things, but I'm not a murderer.
Yeah.
So in a way, like, he's foolishly doubted her, and she's taken it in her stride. you
Yeah.
know? So great character. So we can do a switcheroo. Does someone want to be Zargool? You've seen where I take it, but you know that might not be correct. Could be correct.
I'll have a go at Zargool. if that's-
Yeah. You don't want to be. Do you want to stick with Stoney, or do you want to risk Simon?
Now I've heard Simon, I actually sense there's a real there's a fragility in him
Yeah.
that originally I thought that Simon, because when I first read this, I was in a supermarket,
Right.
and it was very busy, and I think when I read it, I think it was quite I was in quite an oversensory environment, and I
Buzzing
think
lights and
yeah,
people.
a lot of people. And I read Simon, and I think I felt a bit overwhelmed. But Simon has, there's like, I thought he was naive, but actually, I think there's a real joy to him.
He's playing, I think, a section of the audience, really. He's like, you know, he points out the things. He's like, watch out for that. Or be careful of this.
He's like their eyes.
Yeah.
He's in a way, he's like the conscience of the show. It's like, you know, oh, this is be careful about that. Just in case people haven't really, you know, somebody's like sipping a drink or something. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, should be careful about that. You know.
It sounds obvious, but
you need it sometimes.
You need
because
it.
if let's say, because it's like if you're watching TV and like there's another person in the room, you're not just watching it by yourself, which is so, you know, very, you know, happens a lot these days. But let's say you've got someone with you, right? They'll be like, oh, what did you think of the football? Or trying to watch Wendy Winchester, you know. But you'll be kinder to them than that. So you'll be like, oh, I don't know. And then you've got a line that just helps you
Refocus.
grab on to,
yeah.
oh, right, that's
Yeah.
what they're doing. Oh, God, shut up, you know. So I'll be the Stonekeeper. You do Simon justice. Remember, he's got no chance with her. No chance.
None.
There's no point. So any feelings that it brings up, you know, they're not really the same, because probably what they're bringing up, you imagined you did. But if we go into it saying no chance, then it's almost a different
Yeah.
situation entirely. So, external, a forest clearing. I didn't say that before. Late afternoon, so about 4:30.
Ah, Wendy Winchester, you've bitten off more than you can chew this time. The Rictus Stone will be mine, and you'll be history.
You talk too much, Zargool. I'm not frightened of you. I'll be the one to save the sixth dimension with the stone.
be careful, Wendy. They say that Zargool is an ace shot.
Never fear, Simon. As always, I know exactly what I'm doing.
I am the Stonekeeper. Who are the challengers?
It is I, Wendy Winchester, your goodness. I shall treat the stone with respect and use it for the finest things that ever happened and will ever.
Master Zargool is the name. Give me your stone immediately.
He's really, I mean, it's a very bad guy. 2 challenges. The stone shall be passed to the victor in an 18th century dueling contest. Inspect the pistols. Both challengers do so.
Fine pistols, I must say.
An instrument of old-fashioned death for a foolish young girl.
Now, stand back to back. Take 10 paces and fire on your opponent.
Oh, Wendy, be extra careful. I don't trust him.
Everything is in hand, Simon.
The Stonekeeper counts out the paces, and Wendy and Zargool pace apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At that moment, Zargool turns and fires early. But Wendy anticipates, dives to her left, and wounds Zargool with a shot to his favoured shoulder. He drops his pistol and howls.
Yow, I am undone again.
This challenger fired early. He has forfeited his chance. Wendy Winchester, the Rictus Stone is yours. The Stonekeeper hands over the Rictus Stone to Wendy.
But Wendy, how could you have known he'd fire early?
As you said, Simon, he's not to be trusted. I knew he couldn't resist using underhand tactics. He's a fiend.
Ah, you might have won this one, Wendy Winchester, but there will be another time in this warped and winding world, and I'll get the better of you.
Zargool magically evaporates.
Wonderful, Wendy, but your shot needs improvement. You only wounded him.
I am many things, Simon, but a murderer I am not. We have what we came for.
She turns to the Stonekeeper.
Thank you, your goodness. I shall do the very things I implied earlier.
Yes, Wendy Winchester, farewell, and be at peace. The Stonekeepers always remember.
Yes, they do.
Wendy grabs Simon's hand, and in a flash, they're off to the 6th dimension. Credits roll. So,
I'm worried about the very last bit. Wendy grabbing Simon's hand. We know that's because they're going to another 6th dimension.
Yeah, it might
Yeah.
be giving him
It's
a kind of false impression.
confusing, and I think maybe the audience might think that Wendy is giving mixed messages to Simon. And my question is does that then make Wendy wholly likeable?
well, remember, the kind of people who will think that Simon has a chance will also be the same kind of people who understand that you have to hold hands if you want to trans-dimensional travel.
That is
Because she's the one with the
Yeah.
stone, otherwise she'd be going by herself. So the logic of that will override the emotional aspect.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried.
I imagined just as they held hands and just before they zap off,
He was like,
you just see this
A
little
glimpse,
look in his
yeah.
eye of
Yeah.
hope.
we can have that though.
It's heartbreaking.
You just
In
see
a
a
way.
little bit in his little tiny, and it just, as it zooms in on the pair of them, you just see little Simon's face. Gone.
He'll be, no, but you see, he'll be doing that all the time.
Well, if they're constantly zipping around, then he's going to
There's
have a lot of
of-
those
Yeah.
A
moments, isn't he?
lot of hand-holding.
It's tragic.
He believes it.
Mm.
He believes it. I'm just saying it won't ever happen. Okay. When the show gets made, as you know, it's a good chance. When it gets made, most people won't watch this. Maybe I'll make this an unlisted video
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, I don't want it out there that there's no hope. And maybe I'll change my mind. Okay, so that's always possible. Well, look, I love the title. I love the character. I think she's so likable. And we can put her in so many exciting... You can do anything in a warped and winding world. I mean, it's like, and you've got
be in more than one
dimensions, yeah.
dimension at once. So, you know,
Wormholes.
I'm kind of imagining like the titles, like her with a torch and like the cameras
Yeah.
going Dutch and stuff. Just did, you know. You can almost play the tune in
That
your
was
head.
the Twilight.
Did it. Yeah, but it was a bit. We go in a different direction. Falling, you know.
What sort of age bracket do you see this? Is this like a Is this like a make your sandwiches and the family sit around the TV sort of show?
Yeah,
Is
it
this
could be Saturday tea time, you know.
Yeah.
Because I think, you know, it's got. If we're going back in time a bit, we would say, look, this has the feel of a children's show. But I think we're finding, as time goes by, that people aren't really growing up anymore. So you can just sort of keep selling them kids shows, and they keep lapping it up. So in a way, I mean, the audience gets wider as each day passes. Saturday tea time, parents will love it because it keeps the kids quiet, and I'm pretty childish too, you know.
Yeah.
So really, it's the jack and master of all trades.
And nostalgia holds a lot of demographic.
Yeah, you get everybody who remembers it, and you just got to listen to music nowadays, right? It's all derivative.
Yeah.
All culture is. If you look at what people wear, yeah, they're just ripping off what happened in the past. There is no 21st century style at all. So that went pretty well. I did want to point out just a few little touches. Like Zargool. One of the things you could if you're ever writing a villain, like, you know, pretty outlandish villain, not like in a thriller or anything. It's a bit of a giveaway. But if you begin laughter with a consonant that isn't H, that is, if you think of all the laughs you can do, and it begins with a consonant. So in this example, it's T. Ta ha 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 ha. It's evil. It's immediately evil.
Yeah.
Ba ha 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 ha. Fa ha ha ha. Yeah.
What about an L?
La la ha ha ha.
Slightly more
Bit
awkward.
Sound of Music.
I mean,
I thought-
mwahaha is classic.
What is?
Mwahaha.
Mwaha, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, MU. Greek.
Hello.
I thought he was saying thanks and then laughing.
Oh, really?
Ta.
Yeah.
Oh, like tar.
Oh.
Ha 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 ha.
Ah.
Oh. No, I hadn't really planned that because you'll be history. Thanks. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Hmm.
This is getting excited about the idea of that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. Anyway, so that's the I should know it really. The warped and winding world of Wendy Winchester. We may well revisit it because I think it's definitely got legs, and they're girls' legs. Bye.